Welcome to today's edition of Quick Takes, where we have a guest on a particular topic, and we ask that guest a few questions and ask them for their expertise in this particular topic. So today's topic has to do with self-defense, self-protection, etc. And today's guest is Mr. Bruno Orozco Leon, and he is a resident of Mexico City, Mexico, and has nearly 3 decades of experience in martial arts and self-defense. In 1993, he was recruited and trained for a U.S. Central Intelligence Agency initiative as part of a paramilitary group assembled by former special forces operators of the Guatemalan Armed Forces. The goal of this initiative, which he ultimately did not take part in, is that correct?
Yep.
Was to locate and neutralize problematic South American political actors. Also, Mr. Orozco Leon has worked as a personal security officer, a trainer and instructor to security personnel. And this, along with the aforementioned, has provided him with real-world experience in matters of armed violence. Additionally, Mr. Orozco Leon is the founder of Combatives Self-Protection Mexico. He's the author of 2 books and has given seminars on and about his work as a security professional in Mexico, Japan, Peru, Spain, and the United States. All this information will be in the description below the interview, and I hope that everybody watching will have a look. So, good morning, Bruno. How are you today?
Good morning. Good morning. Good. Thank you for this invitation. It's a pleasure.
Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. I want to start with the first question. Obviously, most people, or not most people, but some people aren't familiar with your YouTube channel, which has a good, large number of subscribers. But I wanted to say that one of the things you do is point out the errors in the thinking of other people who are self-defense experts. So what motivated you to do that in terms of correcting the sort of mistakes that they're showing people?
Yeah. In the, let's say, the world of self-defense, there are a lot of speculation, and those who teach self-defense, that they call themselves masters or instructors, they are speculating too. So because they don't base their knowledge in evidence. That is a big mistake, really big mistake, because if you don't have evidence, you don't have anything. So it is so important that the viewers and also the practitioners and also the teachers and instructors start knowing the importance of evidence and learn from their mistakes and speculation. So I think the part of exposing, let's say, other instructors is not to, let's say, gain subscribers or something like that. Right. It's about to share real knowledge, because self-defense is about violence and it's about life and death situations. And I think a lot of people should know what reality is. No?
Right.
Yeah.
On that subject, and we have discussed this just the other day, I have always thought, I'm not an expert, I have always thought that situational awareness, in other words, is very important. Could you talk a little bit about that? In other words, keeping it, not like Jason Bourne, but keeping an eye on your surroundings when you're out and about.
Yeah, actually, it's the base of prevention, and also is the best thing that you could do, even in the reaction mood. To be aware of your surroundings is about also to be aware not only of the material surroundings, but also of the human conduct around you. That is really important. I think that awareness or situational awareness is about understanding human nature in a society and how humans relate to each other and how they act when they start feeling violent. And I think also the thing with criminals is that understand the predator mindset and how they hunt, let's say, and also how they are aroused by drugs and adrenaline and poverty and all that. No? So I think situational awareness is a combination of knowing human nature, your material surroundings, where you are, and also includes your own reaction to it. No, because if you are overreactive or if you are so aware of everything but you are neurotic, or you are too anxious or that, your situational awareness, it will be not the best. So you need to be also in a certain calm and with awareness, but not with attention, but not with tension. No.
Right.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is a person should basically be subconsciously aware, but not to the point of neuroticism.
Yeah, because if you think about it, a lot of people is aware at certain point. No, everybody is like looking around. The problem is not that. The thing and the training here in let's say situational awareness is know how to identify those details that make the difference, and know how to, let's say, identify that let's say signals of danger of around you.
I wanted to get your opinion on this. I once read that someone once said one important thing to do is to never look like a victim.
Yeah.
What is your opinion of that statement?
Yeah, it's correct. Your body language express a lot, and if you are insecure of your, let's say, or you lack of self-confidence, or if you feel so terrified, or if you are with anxiety and worry and all that, your body language will produce that expression, no? Let's say. And if you are walking with certain body language, and even if you walk too slow, or if you walk too quick, too fast, or even how you are looking around, and the faces that you make and all that, it will, let's say, it could become a target for the predators, no? Criminals they are not, let's say, trained to look specific things, but in experience and producing, they let's say produce violence. Let's say that they act with certain conduct, and in that way they start learning from themselves how to identify these signs of weakness. So it's important not to start acting opposite, like, nobody is going to mess with me, and this attitude of Rambo, no. You need to be in a low profile mood, and that means that low profile is not that I am like this, with a body language that express weakness, but at the same time, I'm not going to act with, let's say, this sense of bravery and express that. You need to be in a middle point, no, in a middle part, where you act naturally, you are looking around, and you are aware of everything. And if the aggressor or the potential predator looks at you and sees that you are aware but you are not afraid and you are acting naturally, they start thinking, maybe that guy is armed. Maybe he knows what
Right.
he's doing. Maybe, he's worse than me, because he's so calm. He's aware of everything. He already noticed me, that I am looking around, and he already noticed that I am a predator and all that. So I think that is paramount in prevention. Your body language, the way you look around, the way you walk, the way you sit.
Right.
For example, if you are in a coffee shop or in a restaurant or something, the way that you sit in your table, and you are looking around and you are drinking your beverage or smoking a cigarette or eating, defines let's say the energy that you produce. Example, if you see a pit bull eating his food,
Right.
he's eating like, or if you see a lion, or if you see a tiger, he's eating, but at the same time is producing this energy that don't mess with me,
Right.
That I am not a threat, but don't mess with me because I am eating. It's
Right.
different from a rabbit eating.
Right.
A rabbit is eating like, looking around,
Right.
and some animal is going to hurt me and kill me, So, even the way you eat, the way you chew, the way you smoke, the way you drink, the way you wear, the type of clothes that you wear, and all that is actually is really important. Yeah.
I wanted to go back to the subject I touched on in the beginning with regard to the differences in training. And I noticed, for instance, in your videos, the training is dynamic, right? In other words, the two people, the instructor and the actor person who's the criminal or whatever, are acting in a manner in which you would probably actually see them act. But in a lot of videos, in a lot of these, self-defense videos on YouTube, you have basically static demonstrations. Yeah. In other words, one move and this is the other move.
Yeah.
So how realistic is static versus dynamic training?
I think both are important. No, both are important. The static, let's say, type of training. Is really important to a beginner, no? A person who doesn't know how the other is going to react, but that at the same time doesn't know how to move, how to apply a technique and all that. I think it's important to start from the beginning, no? The very basic points, no? So because a lot of people that comes to learn self-defense, even martial arts and all that, were attacked maybe, or they are too aggressive, or they are so afraid. So if you start with something too intense or too dynamic, they will learn anything. I believe that you need to start with something really basic, like a choreography, where the aggressor is standing there. And for example, in judo, there are this saying that they say, the teachers of judo, that you need to be a good uke, you need to be a good partner. So even in judo, so you need to stand still, and the practitioner comes at you and grabs you and takes you down. And at the beginning is not good to resist, because in order to learn the technique, you need to be like a human dummy, like a static. Right. So that static practice is really good. But if you stay there and you don't go further to a dynamic practice, there you have the problem. Because a lot of people train like years in a static manner, and they think that they know how to defend themselves, because they think, the aggressor will be just standing there. And when they find that the aggressors fight back, and they also defend themselves, because this is a very important concept, no? The aggressor will attack you, but if you defend yourself, he will defend himself against your defense.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So you need to go further and now start training with dynamic trainings, and that means sparring, pressure testing, force to force, the sense of resistance, the adrenaline of feeling that my technique is not working, because in a very basic sense in martial arts and self-defense, you need to learn the basics. The basics are really important. But also you need to learn the variabilities, or how to adapt your basic technique when that doesn't work. So the only way to do that is with pressure testing and with sparring.
Right.
Yep.
Right. I wanted to touch on another subject. With you obviously have a lot of experience with firearms. So does the carrying of a weapon, obviously I don't know what the exact laws are in Mexico, but as you know, in the U.S. there is a fairly liberal attitude toward. Do you think that sometimes do you think that carrying a weapon with, in other words, a person who has no training with a weapon creates a sense of overconfidence in the
totally. I believe it's a big mistake to carry a weapon, a gun, without proper training. The problem is that a lot of people think that they have proper training. That is the problem, no? Because everybody knows how to handle a gun, how to grab a gun, how to, cycle, how to use the sights and all that, even how to apply grips and because there are a lot of courses, and even if you get in YouTube and you look for, pistol maneuvers and all that, you will find a lot of knowledge, no? The problem is that the use of firearms and handguns in real violence is more complicated than just standing still with a grip, and is far more complicated than that. You need to understand a lot of concepts. For example, the thing that we were talking about, the situational awareness. Your situational awareness when you are carrying a gun is far more important. Even to use that weapon, even to use that, not also only as a prevention mode, even to use that weapon. Because if you think that every threat is going to appear at your 12, in front of you, and you are used to draw your pistol and fire like this, when a lot of threats happens in different angles and directions, and in different distances, if you don't know how to draw your pistol with different type of clothes and in different positions, it's not the same draw your pistol when you are standing than you are sitting. For example, if you are in a seated position, drawing in appendix carry is quite different. And there are a lot of important concepts that actually, let me tell you this, the vast majority of, let's say, defensive pistol courses are not telling about. They are not teaching this stuff. You go to a defensive training pistol, whatever course, and they teach you to stand, to shoot, and all that. But what about, for example, real gun retention? The first reaction of an aggressor at really close range when you try to draw your gun is to go for your gun, and he's going to fight really hard to in order that you don't draw your pistol, or even if you draw your pistol, he will try to redirect that trajectory and take away your pistol from you. So there are a lot of, for example, gun retention courses and techniques, but I see a lot of the same problem, choreographies or static, let's say, training, not real force to force with resistance with a pistol. And we are talking about lethal force. So it's really important matter. So in US, you are in a certain sense, I hope I say this correctly, blessed with the possibility to carry a gun to defend yourself. But at the same time, that produced a lot of ignorance because everybody could buy a gun, and now I am carrying a gun and I am safe. And the problem also is that a lot of violent scenarios doesn't require lethal force. If you don't know how to defend yourself without weapons, a lot of violent scenarios happens that you need that combative skills or that hand-to-hand combat without weapons, because it's unjustified to just shoot somebody. You know? So I believe that a lot of people who carry guns doesn't understand this, or maybe they understand it, but they don't care. They just want to feel the sense of security of carrying a gun, you know, and it's just a sensation. It's not real.
It's interesting because I've taken courses over the years, and I used to shoot a little amateur pistol competitively. And one of the things, it's exactly sort of what you said, is that if people don't take the time to train, or at least become more associated than simply carrying the gun, carrying the gun, I've always thought to myself, the weapon can easily be used against you in 2 seconds by you lose control of the weapon, you know?
No, and also,
and sometimes it can turn what is just a fist fight into a murder, and you're the one being murdered with your weapon.
No, and also, even, you know, the bullet placement, that part is also really important, because a lot of people think that if I just shoot the threat, it's going down. And it's not the case, because the target is moving and is running at you with a knife or with a hammer or whatever, or he's shooting you back. He's shooting you back. So drawing your pistol and move, trying to, let's say, find coverage, or trying to make distance, or trying to not be an easy target while you are shooting, you know, your precision and your bullet placement is so different. So I think that also doesn't teach you like really well in these courses. A lot of people think that it's just a static stance, and the aggressor will not try to take your gun away. The aggressor will not fight back, because you have the gun and you are going to shoot. No, so it's the same that you are talking about.
This reminds me of a recent article I read about a shooting in the United States, where a man was sleeping and the police were serving I believe it was a no-knock warrant. And you know what those are? They don't knock, they just come in. And it was in the middle of the night. He woke up. He was former Marine, U.S. Marine, combat Marine, and he woke up and he thought people were breaking in. And then he never even got a chance to fire his weapon. The police fired 70 rounds. And this is the question. I mean, this is what I wanted to say with bullet placement. Of those 70 rounds that the police fired, only 20 hit him. And the distance was something like 30 feet. So I think that's also what people forget, is that bullets don't magically go to what you're shooting at.
Exactly. Don't magically hit the heart.
Right. Exactly. Well, it's also interesting what you pointed out, because in some states in the U.S., you know this, they have these stand your ground laws, right? So you have no duty to retreat, right? But in a state like New York, for example, the law in New York, where I'm from, is you have a duty to retreat. And only when you cannot retreat any further, or you cannot retreat at all, can you use deadly force. I wonder, I wanted your opinion. Do you think these types of laws that allow you to just shoot right away, do you think they encourage people to be more sort of trigger happy, if you like?
It's, I think, a difficult matter that the answer is not easy, you know, because a lot of laws are made without understanding real violence and the let's say the real probabilities to the victim to apply survival maneuvers. No.
Right.
So if you think that a law that allows everybody shooting everybody,
yeah.
with because you look me wrong or because I thought
Exactly.
that you were a threat, yes, it could end in a lot of unjustified use of lethal force. I believe that. But in the other side, if you only are allowed to shoot when the other is attacking you, maybe it's too late.
Right.
Because, for example, here in Mexico, the gun laws are so wrong, because the Mexicans, we are not allowed to carry guns. That is a first law. You can't carry a gun. That's it. And if you carry a gun and you use it in the street, you go to jail like that.
Right.
So that is wrong also because, for example, criminals have a lot of guns.
Sure.
And if you as a citizen, you are unarmed, you have no chance against somebody who has a weapon, no?
Right.
So in that sense, carry or let's say the laws that allows you to carry a gun are really good. But I think they have the dark side or the dark part of that if everybody is carrying a gun and you don't know how to control yourself, and if you are such a, let's say, explosive, how do you say, mood, you are a person who are angry really fast, or maybe you drink a lot or drugs or whatever, it's not that good that you are carrying a weapon. So I think, as I said before, the answer is not easy. The answer is not easy.
Right.
Yeah, it depends. It's so in a specific context, no? For example, if you, for the laws in your country, you need to wait to use lethal force. You need to wait until you are in real life and death danger. Maybe it's too late. An example, if somebody pulls out a knife and tries to ambush you with the knife, and you are looking the guy and you see all the signs that the guy is going to draw a weapon, you need to act first. You need to draw your pistol and shoot, because if the aggressor pulls out, an example, a knife at really close range, and you wait until the aggressor starts tries to run at you and stabbing you, maybe it's too late. So that is the problem with those laws that tell you can't use lethal force until your life is in danger. And what is the measure of that? What is the When you say it in English, how do you
the criteria?
How do you know when or how is real danger or not? So I think a lot of laws are wrong. I think they don't consider the real needs of people in real dangerous situations. Yeah. Right.
Clearly. Which it brings me to the last point I would like to make is the last question I would like to ask, that for a person who doesn't want to carry a gun, what types of training would you recommend, and how often should they take this type of training, just to maintain a sense of self-preservation?
Yeah. Well, even with carrying a gun, the question is people who doesn't want or they can't because
doesn't want to carry a gun. They don't want to carry a gun.
They don't want it. Yeah. Even if you want it and if you can, I think the type of training that you need is different combined strategies and tools developed by striking, combined with grappling, use of weapons of opportunity. Those are really, really important. Have, let's say, good physical condition, and train often of that.
I see.
I believe twice a week is really good. If you train twice a week, and you don't need to be in the gym or in the, let's say, training center hours and hours. An example, if you train one day, let's say boxing, and the other day you train a little bit of grappling, is better than having nothing.
Right.
And for example, the combined strategies that used now in MMA, for example, are really good.
Right.
Because you have these combined combat systems, this hand-to-hand mixture, where you can apply different tools to different situations, no? And it's important to integrate the different weapons to that, let's say, toolbox. An example, if you don't want to carry a gun, or you can, it's important to learn how to deal with gun scenarios. It's important how to deal with knife scenarios. It's important to deal with impact weapon scenarios. And you need to integrate to your hand-to-hand training that type of scenarios, no, to survive real violence. So I believe if you can do that twice a week, is really good. Maybe once a week, okay, but if you train that once a month, is not enough. It's not enough, because you need that knowledge in your body, and you need to train in order that it's an automatic response. So I believe that will be the answer to that question. Yeah.
So that a person doesn't have to think. It's just as you just said, an automatic response. Your body responds to exactly the threat that's being presented without having to think about it.
Yeah, because
is that fair?
Yeah. Because actually, when you are in danger, adrenaline and a lot of glands in your body and your nervous systems blocks your capability to think. So when you are in a panic situation, fear, adrenaline, your thinking procedures will fail. So you need to know how to react instantly and automatically to different situations. And the thing that is going to save you is your body. Your body. Your mind too, but your unconscious mind, not your subconscious, your subconscious mind, not your rational mind. The rational mind doesn't work. That is a big problem with a lot of people who think that, I'm going to train once a month, or I'm going to see YouTube videos, and now rationally I understand the techniques and I know how to react, but you don't, because you are thinking about it, and when you are in real danger, you will not think at all.
Right. It reminds me of something, and this will be the last thing someone once said to me. I was having a conversation a long time ago with someone. We were talking about what constitutes courage, bravery. And this man was a former military person. And he said to me, courage, he said, is not, I wanted to see if you agree with this. He said, courage, he said, is not the absence of fear. It is the ability to act in the presence of fear, which I think is what you were saying. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, totally. And actually, a lot of people who never been in a real violent situation, they think that courage and bravery is about not having fear.
Right.
But it's not like that. Fear is going to be there. It's a big difference between fear and panic.
Right.
It's a big difference. When you panic, you paralyze.
Right.
You will not react good if you panic.
Right.
So
right.
Not having or not feeling panic doesn't mean that you will not feel fear.
Right.
Fear, it will allow you to keep reacting, and it's wonderful to react.
Right.
The proper training lets you to not be in panic.
Right.
But know how to deal with fear and feel fear, and even being comfortable having fear.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Very well said. Very well said. Bruno, that was the last thing. And so I want to thank you for being a guest. And it was very enjoyable. And I still think I'm better looking than you, but I mean, we'll leave that. We'll leave that for another discussion. And so I want to thank you. I wish you a very nice day, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon.
No, Will, thank you to you. Thank you. Thank you to help me to practice my English. Thank you.
Thank you.